We've been waiting for months. Or at least feels like months, but is actually a month. Scott Cawthon has finally released a new animatronic onto Scottgames.com. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Hello everybody, it's WHYYY of DAGames, and Scottgames has finally released a new sister location animatronic onto the website, and I have to say, this is completely new, because this is nothing like the one animatronics that we've seen. They all look very chroma, look very shiny and everything. This is very different because, well, it's freaking... Look at the nose, for instance. Look at the face. Look at the eyes and everything. Look at the cables. I mean, not any animatronic that we've seen already has those cables. Kind of reminds me of the Mangle feel. But we figured we'd do a little bit of an analysis anyway. Obviously, with the image being not really exposed right now, this is something that everybody normally does with these images. It increases exposure. Now, one thing I'm going to point out is I don't know if this is a Blender issue or not. I don't know whether this is something that he intentionally did. But that eye looks... square. I don't know if that was intentional or not, because to me, I think that's just a Blender blemish. I think, oh, maybe he messed up, maybe all of this, or it could just be the fact that this exposure is making somewhat of a mess. But a lot of people have come to me and said that maybe now the eyes have projectors inside them, but how can you say that if underneath the eye down here, you actually have an eyelid, which is not square? So this is begging me to believe that this thing is very, very corrupt, and there's a lot of stuff in this, because look, the eye there, eyesore. Oh my god, so many Flumpty's references. Speaking of Flumpty references, it's quite hilarious because it seems as though Scott's taken maybe a bit of influence from Flumpty's, because it looks like if you look at the same but wiring and pipes and all that, this new animatronic has the same pipes. And what's leading me to believe this is that, remember in Flumpty's where the clown would come out of the wall and everything? I don't know, it's a bit ambitious, and I don't honestly think that's the case. But imagine that if Scott had taken a bit of influence from it. This is all for debate. Now, before we start going into a little bit more about what he might be hiding, let's take a few things out of the equation. First of all, a lot of people will be looking at the nose and looking at this little reflection right here. What could this be? Could this be a new animatronic? Could this be something staring? Could it be an evil shadow? It's just a reflection of the nose, guys. Don't worry. There's nothing about it that's anything else. It's just a reflection that's on the nose. I wouldn't go into any speculation about that. Obviously, down at the bottom it says, there's a little of me in every body. So what this is begging me to believe is that there's this soul that's in absolutely every single animatronic, which would be incredibly crazy to see, since you are in a factory, you are in this strange place, but it seems like the data that's in the office is one mind which is controlling one thing, and that is the entity. So there's a little bit of this animatronic controlling the rest of them, maybe. This might be a new mechanic as well. You might have to stop this one and reboot everything, etc. Also, I just figured I'd put this here because this has not ever appeared in a teaser before. This is a brand new revelation. This is going to be something that's going to revolutionize the world. Copyright 2016, Scott Cawthon. Nice move there. Also, if you see in the actual animatronic's endoskeleton, the teeth are very different compared to the other ones. They look a lot more spikier than the opposed rounded edge teeth, which begs me to believe that this one's going to have a little bit more chomp to it. There's going to be something where you... you know what I mean? And I wouldn't obviously rule out that it's not a Five Nights at Freddy's game, because I know it only says sister location, but... you know, it said just sister location in the last teaser, but in the actual trailer it said Five Nights at Freddy's. So this is still a Five Nights at Freddy's game. There's no way about it. It's not changing in the slightest. It's still going to be a Five Nights at Freddy's game. Looking in the background, all you can see, it looks like a broken wall, but then again, it could just be shadow. It could be anything, but you get a little more glimpses to what the piping starts to look like. So you're definitely in some sort of strange factory area, or maybe a very futuristic office, because let's face it, to have this kind of power in an animatronic, I mean, that's just crazy. Like, it looks very futuristic. Your office could very well reflect on another horror attraction, or it could be another factory, or it could be the place where the sister location animatronics were placed to put it in to be a relevant place. They were abandoned for ages until maybe you counted upon it. A new place opened up, and once again, you have all the animatronics. I think the main premise of this, though, is that it's a new FNAF game. No matter what you put into it, like, is it going to be a factory? Is it going to be a circus? Is it going to be a new office? Regardless, all you need to know is there are new characters, there are new mechanics, there's new lore behind this. It looks like it's an ultimately new game. And I know there's a lot of things that make it canon, etc. But let's not forget, Five Nights at Freddy's had its story. I think it's safe to say everybody riddled that one. Sister Location has its other story. So while some things happen at Fazbear's that might have been crazy, this is set to be even more crazy. And let's not forget, this is something that we've spent months waiting for. A completely new animatronic. Just before we go any further, guys, we have been looking into the analysis of what the names really mean about these animatronics. Maybe they have a symbol or meaning, because obviously with Ballora and Minirina, obviously they're like hybrid names of some sort. One thing I did finally come across, one thing that we did find in DAGames, was the meaning of Ennard, which is another animatronic name. It's full of life and energy and creativity. Dynamic, intuitive, and innovative. You are one of a kind. An innovative power who knows how to meet the needs of his time, allowing him to capture the collective unconsciousness. You are a nonconformist who likes to think outside the box. Hierarchy and an established order are things you have trouble with. 11s love independence and go to great lengths to achieve it. Although you like getting noticed, you never pay attention to critics. Bohemian lifestyle does not scare you because you always make the best out of every situation. People often confide in you because of your great listening skills and advice. An idealistic and a philosopher, your character is unique. So looking at that description altogether, and looking back at this image right here, and looking at the bottom where it says there's a little bit of me in everybody. So there's a little bit of craziness, there's all this, you're out there, all mangled, you're absolutely spontaneous, and you're left in the shadows as well, while you don't like being put out in the public eye. This has got to be Ennard. Like, prove me wrong, it could be another one, it could be Baby, it could be Ballora, it could be any of the names, because again, Scott has left those names in our disposal so that it could be whatever it can be before he starts announcing which ones they are. However, looking at that description and going to a bit more research, Ennard seems like the more likely term for this particular animatronic. Obviously, it's easy to see Funtime Foxy and Funtime Freddy with the little toy puppet bunny. That, understandable. Baby is obviously, it's very strange because, like, Baby has the microphone and says the show will begin momentarily. Everyone please stay in your seats. Everybody's expecting that that might be the case. However, looking at this might be Baby. Because there's no hair, there's no facial complexion to suggest that it's an older woman. This very much seems like a baby to me. I don't know why, but it kind of matches up. So this might change the whole thing entirely. Also, a lot of people speculated that Ballora, the one that does this might be Ballora, or it might be Bidybab or something, and maybe the Ballora was Bidybab. There's a lot of things that can actually change the conventions of what a name can be now, and I'm hoping, because my speculation is that this is Baby. This is going completely out of bloom here, but what if Scott was setting this all up to give us all these, because to be honest, he did not tell us what animatronics they were. There was no indication as to what the animatronics were. So we just left it up to speculation. What if this is Baby? Because there's a little bit of me in everybody. And going back to what Scott said in FNAF World Update 2, that little guy that says, I've created something horrible, mysterious, very terrible. This could be the terrible thing. And a lot of people are going to say, there's a little bit of me in everybody. Everybody's going to piece Springtrap into this. But more and more, it just seems to be that Springtrap seems to lead further and further away from the story. Even though it has a little bit of interest in there, I don't think it's going to be a main encompassing on the game. I don't think he's actually going to be in there. So, I mean, what we found from this, brilliant new animatronic, by the way. It looks absolutely stunning. The piping looks incredible. Again, it resembles a Mangles sort of feel. I don't know if the eyelid with the big square on it, I don't know if that was a blender issue or not, or that was intentional. If it was intentional, I'm presuming that these are projectile eyes. One of them is, but then that doesn't explain the eye that's down at the bottom. We don't know what that is. That's probably just another eye. That's all my speculation that I have for this. Because, again, there's not a lot you can say after first looking at an image, especially one that you've brightened up. And going by what Scott's normally puts in, a lot of people like to make speculations about, oh, what does that say? Oh, let's reverse the audio and hear what it says. And, oh, what about that weird little silhouette in the back? In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Just as an experiment, I'm going to do that right now. What could this be? Could this be Springtrap's leg? Could this be Springtrap's arm? It's green. It's got to be Springtrap. No, it's just a blemish after doing so much exposure and after so much curves. Again, there's nothing that I can see in this that resembles it. However, the only thing that I can see after completely looking into this are little balloons, which, again, could not be seen by uncurving everything. So I'm going to bring that back down again. So obviously there are balloons, but they seem very opaque at the same time. So whether they're thin layered balloons or something, but obviously it's still encompassing that this is a birthday themed or a circus themed sort of location. So that we already understand. There are already balloons in this. Also, many of you are going to be probably saying, oh, is this going to be in the lyric video? No, it's not. This is way too early. Plus, at the same time, every lyric video that we do encompasses the main people that we're introduced with. It's never anything else, because we would have introduced the puppet, we would have introduced BB in Break My Mind, but we never did, because what the hell's the point? You know, it's all focusing on the main things that you're supposed to be running from. However, there are a few lyrics to suggest that this could actually play in. Again, messages, make of what you want, but this is new. Sorry about the cough there, that's crazy. Anyway, this has been a little bit of an analysis. I hope you enjoyed, and if you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your friends or family, or maybe your dog. And we're running DAGames. We just revealed a new Scott teaser. Sort of. See you in the next one, guys. Peace out! That thing's still scary, though.